Picture this. It's the early morning in your Minecraft world. Just so last night, you made some brand new iron armor and enchanted it with protection 1. You have a diamond sword in your hand, and you will soon take on the nether. But first, you want to go on an adventure to find more resources. Possibly a new building block or saplings of a different type. So you set off with mostly an empty inventory because you want to carry a lot of items back. I want you to think about what your inventory would look like. What would it have? Food? Torches? Maybe an extra golden apple or two? Well, I can tell almost none of you thought of leather boots. I honestly believe that Minecraft is one of the best games ever made. For a decade, Mojang has had very low amounts of controversy in their updates. Now, we can talk about broken combat all day, but the fact is, most veterans play the newest update complaint-free. But Minecraft has had a recent obsession that is threatening to change that. They're trying to make everything in the game useful. I know what you're thinking. How could that be a bad thing? And to that I raise this. It's not the fact that they're trying to make everything useful, it's the fact that they're failing at it. And the biggest example of this overarching idea is Minecraft's armor structure. In the intro, I laid out an interesting scenario that might seem uncommon, but believe me, that's not the full extent. For instance, gold armor is still completely useless. Yes, I know they're good for piglins, and overall, I think that feature is okay, but the problem is gold leggings, chest plates, and helmets are still useless. Instead of adding a practical reason to wear gold armor in some situations, they opted to shoehorn it in so you don't get attacked by piglins. Ask yourself if this is actually a good use for gold armor. And even worse is leather and chainmail armor. They're both also completely useless, even though in a lot of cases, chainmail and leather armor are harder to obtain than iron armor. And Mojang did the same thing again in 1.18, forcing you to use terrible armor for one specific use case. Better yet, Minecraft's armor is imbalanced. Recently, it was just announced that a frankly awesome enchant was being added to the game, Swift Sneak, and it's one of the 5 exclusive enchants for boots. How many exclusive enchants do chestplates have? None. Leggings? None. Helmets? 2. But that's still ridiculous and not balanced at all. Exclusive enchants works as a solution to being quote-unquote overpowered, but at the end of the day, I think there's a way better method of making these enchants harder to obtain, and a way better way to use all of these armor sets. And with those main problems laid out, I offer my solution. Now, this isn't perfect. I'm sure there are way better ways that anyone could come up with. If you have your own solutions, leave them down below. And sub while you're at it, because my channel is all things technical Minecraft, so if you like this, you'll like my other content too. That being said, my solution to leather armor. Leather armor is something that you find very early on in the game. Supposedly. In reality, if you want a full set, excluding chip finds, you need to kill 12 to 24 cows to do so. That's a lot. So my first idea would to cut down on the amount of leather needed to make the armor. On top of that, it should be a lot more necessary for survival. For instance, maybe without armor in general, mobs do 2 to 3 times as much damage, making any armor you can get your hands on useful for when you're crafting your iron set. Something that should have more use cases than even leather armor is chainmail armor. Chainmail armor is the mob armor, if you will. But if you have it, there's no reason to use it. And I think that chainmail being uncraftable is so cool, but you need a reason for people to go and get it. I honestly think that chainmail should be blow for blow with iron. For example, chainmail could protect you less but also boost your attack reload speed on your sword so you can hit faster, and iron just protects more. Maybe a mixture of both will allow players to get both benefits to an extent. It'll become must-have in PvP, but to balance the usage, it could cost more to enchant. People who fight with axes might prefer 75% chainmail, while people who use swords might want the opposite. Speedrunners and mid-game players would use this feature a lot. I think this type of complexity can be sent to gold armor as well. Gold is more tricky, as while it's less abundant in the overworld, in the nether, it's everywhere. And I think that's okay. I think gold armor should be used as a semi-endgame armor, but its power only comes from enchants. For example, its base stats are horrible, but you could find some enchanted armor pieces that make it last around half as long as Diamond's max durability. Gold could provide exclusively high enchants, Thorns 5, Unbreaking 5, Protection 5, making it only mildly weaker than Prot 4 Diamond. And since gold is another lightweight material, it could have the same effects as chainmail on attack speed. Just with some rare endgame enchants, only found, not self-enchantable. Maybe they're found in the heart of bastions with 12 brutes surrounding it. Maybe only the books are found and you can go ahead and enchant the gold boots yourself. Either way, this will add another section of in-depth combat to the game by making a triangle of armors: gold for speed, diamond for balance, and netherite, which would be slow and methodical with strikes for a maximum hit and protection. Boots? Oh boy, boots. First of all, let's move Swift Sneak to be an exclusive leggings enchant, and maybe have a special fast one for gold leggings. Soul Speed could also be used in leggings to make Steve's calves stronger and make him able to run in soul sand. Kinda works. 2 new enchants for the chestplate could be added, maybe a rare one that allows you to clip your elytra and your chestplate at the same time, and another one called Backpack that would allow you to carry 9 more slots of items, both found in the deep dark or maybe even in the end or the ladder in an ocean one. This would even out the amount of enchants per armor slot, and make things less cluttered as a whole. On top of that, instead of making the enchants mutually exclusive, they should just be like 100 levels to do so. I always thought the too expensive thing was really dumb, because if somebody grinded enough to get 100 levels, let them add the final enchantments to the boots, Jesus. In conclusion, all of these changes would make a well-rounded, less level-based, more diverse, longer game that involves the constant reward of effort and hours into making something better, with even more beginning and mid-game content to boot. While this in reality would be really hard to keep balanced, it would overall not only fix the armor issue, but the combat issue as well. Thanks for watching, and I hope some developer or future developer of Minecraft sees this and considers the validity of a system like this. And with that, sub for more brain rot, and see you next time.